Superman, issue 280. If it's the last thing I do, I'll get you for this. Duel of the Diamond Demons. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. And for the benefit of the TV cameras, I have just compressed an ordinary piece of coal into pure diamond. Great Krypton! Why is everybody running off scared? Sometimes, even a Superman can't control his actions. So when the man with the greatest power on Earth runs out of control, it results in a duel of the Diamond Demons. And that's the way it's been. This is Dale Smith for WMET News. Well, boys, there's the face of the enemy. The man who's battling to elbow us out of the number one spot in the ratings war. But Mr. Edge, I've always been under the impression the job of Steve Lombard and myself was to report the news, not to win a popularity contest. Clark Kent, as long as you work for Galaxy Communications and me, your job is to put on the show that the most people watch. Now, do something about your sagging ratings, or else. Whereupon communications tycoon Morgan Edge hops out of the room, leaving Clark Kent confused and sportscaster Steve Lombard not smart enough to be confused. The boss man sounds serious this time, all right, Steve. If our ratings don't stay on top, he'll start looking for new faces. You gotta take it light, Clarky. When you're in a tough spot, concentrate on other matters. Well, like what? No sooner asked than answered, in the person of that long-stemmed chick. Forget it, Steve. I don't feel like watching you make time with every pretty girl you see. Perish the thought, Clarky. I've got more women than I can handle. This one is for you. Steve, what do you... Pardon me, miss. My fault, I guess. Come on, Dumbo. Offer her a cup of coffee. May I pour you some coffee? How do you like it? A little cream. No sugar, thanks, Mr. Kent is his name, and I'm Steve Lombard. My friend's a little shy. You understand. Here's your coffee. Gotta come up with something to improve the ratings. Oh, thank you, Mr. Kent. Steve, I've seen you on television, and you're just... You spilled coffee all over me, you clumsy nerd. Steve set me up as a patsy for one of his macho routines. Come with me, pretty girl. A little cold water will keep the coffee from staining. I'm too wrapped up with my own show to even think of getting back at Steve. The old smiling cobra must have really shaken me up. Suddenly I've got a strange urge to go up in the flying newsroom. And that's just what Clark does, on the heliport roof of the Galaxy building. You just want to fly around over the city, Mr. Kent? Well, anything special you're looking for? Whopping big story, Ace. And exclusive. Well, you got it, Mr. Kent. Look, Metro Bridge is falling down. Keep circling over the bridge, Ace, and I'll get it all on camera. I'll set up my automatic equipment in back and have it film Superman saving the bridge. No sooner does a quietly competent TV newsman fit a special 16mm camera into a hatch in the flying newsroom designed for that purpose, then a mighty red and blue form arcs down toward the damaged suspension bridge. Here comes Superman. We're saved. Saved nothing. Sure, he's plenty strong, but how's he going to hold up a whole bridge? That's a good question, and I'd better think of something fast. Zowie! A man scooting around underneath the bridge to hold it up long enough for us to clear off. The rays from my heat vision will combine with super pressure from my hands to fuse the bridge into shape, long enough for me to grab up all the broken cables. What great shots. I hope Clark is back there getting them all on film. As the camera attached to the underside of the WGBS copter whirs away, a man of steel shores up the huge structure with starborn strength, and with a mighty effort lances upward with his cargo of cables, literally giving the suspension bridge an uplift. That should hold till they're fixed permanently. As for that news film, that's a job for Clark Kent. Okay, Lewis, cut the film. There. and I'll go write my narration for it. Strange bird, this Clark Kent. Always rush, rush, rush. Then, in a little office near the broadcast studio in the Galaxy building, almost forgot, I have to knock out a special script for GBS news program Weekend News Review. We're doing a demo for a potential new sponsor Mr. Edge has lined up. Kent, where in the blazes have you been? I was about to have Lombard take over for you. I was tracking down a hot story, Mr. Edge. 1 minute to go. And 60 seconds later, as the red camera light blinks on, this is Clark Kent with the WGBS Weekend News Review. I just can't figure Kent out sometimes. He's usually late, badly dressed, clumsy, the whole bit. But when that camera goes on, he's every inch a pro. For 6 minutes, the show goes without a hitch until... Alright, boys, take a 60-second breather while the commercial would ordinarily run. Oh, very nice. Look at how impressed the sponsor lady is with Clark. Wonder if I can turn her off Clark and onto me. Steve Lombard can always be trusted to think of a way to attract attention, like when Clark isn't looking. Clarky's such a great ball guy. I'll swipe his script and make the lady snicker when he trips over his lines. Alright, 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. The price of gold in Paris continued to climb today as Sheikh Mujibur Mantuti informed Prime Minister Indira Rawanala that oil production will drop 4,612,841 barrels this week. I don't freaking believe it. How could Kent possibly have memorized all that heavy stuff? And so it goes over the next few days, as Clark comes upon more and more scoops that boost his news show's popularity. Superman's flying off with a disabled trailer that's been clogging the traffic on the turnpike. The WGBS truck is getting it all live. And we happen to be on the scene when the Man of Steel stopped the runaway Metro Express. I set the camera on automatic when I realized the Metrodome was about to cave in. And positively beaming about these developments is Galaxy Communications President Morgan Edge. Kent, I don't know how you do it, but your ratings are getting better by the day. Thanks, Mr. Edge, but I can't rest on my laurels. I've got a story to cover. Superman's making a personal appearance to kick off the new United Charities Drive. He's going to change a chunk of coal into a diamond. Oh, that's routine. I'll send Lombard to film it. You've been going at such a hectic pace lately, you need a rest. Shortly, in another part of town. Here's where I'm to put on my diamond spectacular. Looks like Lombard is showing rare ingenuity, setting up his camera for an overhead shot. The super guy sure has us hopping lately. Yeah, he seems to be going out of his way to make news. The cameras zoom in on the strongest right hand on Earth, exerting enormous pressure on ordinary coal, compressing it into the purest form of carbon, a diamond, hardest natural substance known to man, as the WGBS sportscaster shoots the scene from above. I'll show Mr. Edge I'm not just a dumb jock. I'll pick up a better angle. Woozy. I can't think straight. This diamond will be broken up and distributed to charitable organizations. Huh? Where's everybody running? Superman, you turned me into this. What in the galaxy? I'm going to get even. Where in the world did that diamond creature come from? He slammed me right through a bunch of buildings condemned to make room for the new convention center. But he's not going to catch me on the defensive again. You look so sure of yourself, Man of Steel, that you forget. Diamond is harder than steel. You withstood my best blow. Who are you? I'm the one you turned into a monster, and that's what I'll do to you. Don't bother attacking me with your heat vision. It bounces off me like bullets bounce off you. Now get an eyeful of this. My body hardening as if turning to diamond. Got to break loose fast, get behind him. Wasn't ready for that. When you concentrated on changing coal into diamond, your Kryptonian brainwave waves reacted with the solar energy in my body to change me into a diamond too. Solar energy? Only one person I know is subject to solar radiation with weird side effects. Steve Lombard. He was given that radiation to heal his bum knee when he was a football player. Radiation that spawned a super powerful, non-living football player made of solar energy. It was I who unconsciously caused all those disasters I stumbled across as Clark Kent, because I was concentrating so hard on to boost my TV ratings. That makes me the real villain of all this, and Steve Lombard the victim. You're not tough enough to hold on to me, Superman. Now that I know what forces were at work to change Steve into a diamond demon, I must risk my life to save him. Got you in my line of vision, Superman, which dooms you to become as repulsive a diamond creature as me. My whole body crystallizing, racked with pain. I can feel new power surging into my being, super diamond hard energy. Got to act fast, decisively, before my condition becomes permanent. This blow has to be the mightiest I've ever struck. It has to literally knock the solar energy out of Steve. Oh, it's working. Without his eerie energy, Steve has lost his hold on both me and his diamond self. I realized it was only as a diamond that I could scratch another diamond. What happened? Where am I? Soon after, as Steve is about to audition for a show of his own, Steve Lombard looks at This Week in Sports. Mr. Edge, am I too late to watch Steve's run-through? No, have a seat, Kent. Taping starts in 2 minutes. Now that Steve's back to normal, again, I wonder what gag he's lined up for me next. What this mild-mannered reporter needs to do is some sand kicking in the face of his own. So, I'll take this little ditty I happen to type up and put it on top of Steve's real script. Let's see how he does as a patsy. The videotape cameras roll, the star takes his place, and good afternoon. This is Steve Lombard with This Week in Sports. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white. God! What are you trying to pull, Lombard? That's our Steve, always making with a gag. Bet he's got a real script underneath. Yeah, a gag. Funny, huh? Hilarious. Now, let's get down to serious business. Roll it. The end. Dear Diary, what a week. After last Monday morning, it seemed as if nothing would ever be the same in the private life of Clark Kent. Morning, Laura. Say, what's all the shouting about? Oh, just another of those typical dialogues between Mr. Warmth and Perry White. Must be the same discussion about changing the name of the paper to Daily Galaxy. Sounds like something bigger this time, Clark. Much bigger. Kent, get your bumbling carcass in here. I've got an assignment for you. Now, see here, Edge. You're going to do a special TV documentary, a farewell tribute to a great editor. But Perry turns 65 next month, and according to company rules, he must retire as editor of the Daily Planet. But your former chief wants to bow out with a bang, so he's working on the biggest headline of his career. Perry wants it to be sensational, because for him, it will also be the last headline. Years ago, reporter Perry White helped send Zach Dawson to prison on a bank embezzlement rap. But the stolen $250,000 was never recovered. And today, Dawson is being released. I want you to film a behind-the-scenes look at Perry covering his last story for the Planet, nabbing Dawson with the missing money. Great Caesar's ghost, you're not dumping me that easily. You think the minute a man reaches age 65, his mind and body stop functioning? I'm just as fit and alert today as I was 30 years ago. I can run rings around you young whippersnappers. I'll believe that when I see it, White. Now get cracking, you two, on that story. Perry's right. There is no need for him to retire, but how do I convince Edge of that? Well, Perry told Dawson he had no idea I was trailing him to a condemned tenement on the east side. Edge never expected me to go this far behind the scenes, but this way I'll not only get great action footage as Perry catches that crook in the act, I'll be on hand in case Superman is needed. Just then, an over-anxious Perry let his foot get in the way of a garbage can and... this could mean trouble, and the cue for Superman's appearance. Well, if it ain't the Crusading newsman, a little grayer and a little fatter after all these years. Figured you'd follow me here, White. Here's where you get yours. But before I could slip into my fighting togs, that menacing shadow, Dawson must have a backup man out here to stand guard and dispose of snoopers. I like it better when I do the disposing. Oops, sorry about that. Guess I'm kind of clumsy with this camera. Now to stash this video equipment in the truck and let my alter ego take over. No, on second thought, I'll sit this one out. Perry seems to be doing fine on his own. One more hit, and the ball game is over. Not bad for an old major leaguer they're sending to the showers. Snap! Great Caesar's ghost, the roof's collapsing. There was no need for a man of steel as a man of iron. Iron nerves took over. Hey, what? Shut up. Just shut up and move. Later, as the police took Dawson into custody, Perry, you're amazing. Dawson tried to kill you, and yet you saved his life. You betcha, Kent. I had to get him out so I could put him back in prison. With that, my documentary was complete, and now I knew what to do about Perry's impending retirement. Next day in the WGBS TV screening room, Perry White single-handedly recovered the bank money and for a second time brought Zach Dawson to justice. This is Clark Kent for WGBS TV News. Okay, Josh, turn it off. Wait, sir, there's more. Mr. Edge, you're making a big mistake forcing Perry to retire. Oh, what's that? I'm glad you had the guts to tell me to my face, Kent. Well, by saving Dawson's life, as you've just seen, Perry proved he is still mentally alert and physically fit, and more than capable of remaining the Daily Planet's editor-in-chief. Who wrote your speech, Kent? One of our soap opera scripters? And I am not alone on this. In my hand I hold a petition signed by the Planet staff. If Perry goes, we all go. What? Kent, you jellyfish, that wasn't the real you talking. Who put you up to this? See for yourself, sir. Mr. Edge, you made the retirement rule and you can break it. We are waiting for your answer, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friends, there is no need to tender your resignations. I have had a change of heart. Brother, I've decided that Perry White is indeed fit enough to continue to run the planet, until he himself decides otherwise. Which maybe never. Great Caesar's ghost, what in blue blistering blazes is going on here? I was just telling them some good news, Perry, but what are you doing? What's it look like I'm doing? Selling Girl Scout cookies? I'm cleaning up my desk. I'm retiring, remember? You? Retiring? Not as long as I have anything to say about it. Humph. Glad you came to your senses, Edge. Well, what are you all standing around gawking at? We've got a paper to get out. You're on company time, so move." As he turned to leave, I glanced back at Perry, and what I saw made me glad we'd won. It's great knowing I won't see Perry's last headline for a long time to come. The end.